Hi everyone, Rahul here. In my previous video, I have explained you about different type of SQL constraints we have, and specifically we talk about the unique key constraint as well. In this video, I will explain you about primary key and foreign key constraints in detail. This is very important topic, so I thought to create a separate video on this topic. So what is primary key? A primary key constraint is a column or a group of columns that uniquely identifies every row in the table of relational database management system. It cannot be duplicate, meaning the same value should not appear more than once in the table. As I explained in my previous videos, whenever you have to restrict user to insert duplicate values, you can go for a unique constraint or you can go for a primary key constraint. But whenever you have a requirement where you have to relate two tables, like let's suppose department and employees. So if there is a requirement to restrict user to insert those rows for the department does not exist in the department table. So in this scenario, you should go for creating a primary key and foreign key constraint. You can see that a table can have more than one primary key. Primary key can be defined at the column or at the table level. If you create a composite primary key, it should be defined at the table level. So we can create a primary key on a single column. And if we are trying to create a primary key on multiple columns, then it's known as composite primary key. Now, why we should use primary key? So the main aim of the primary key is to identify each and every record in the database table. So you can use a primary key when you don't allow someone to enter null values. So this is very important. Like when you go for a unique key constraint, then user can enter null values. We have already discussed this in my previous video. But if there is a requirement that user cannot enter null value, cannot enter duplicate value, then in this scenario, you will go for a primary key constraint and perform restrict operation to reject, delete or update operation for the parent table. So this is a syntax, create table, table name, then column names, data type, and then after comma, primary key keyword, and then column name. So let's have a look. So let's have a look at the database. Now we are creating one table department underscore p key. The table is created. You can see that in the user constraints table, constraint name is p, that is primary key. Now when I try to insert the same value in depth ID column, it will give me an error. Here I have inserted two different values, right? So that's why I'm able to insert that row. Let's try to insert the same depth ID 2 for HR. Here it will give me an error that unique constraint violated. So this is about the primary key. Now, what is foreign key? Foreign key is a column that creates a relationship between two tables. The purpose of foreign key is to maintain data integrity and allow navigation between two different instances of an entity. So you can see that in the example, there is one department table and we have created a primary key on depth ID column. Now in employees table, if you create a foreign key on the depth ID column, so in that scenario, you will be able to insert those rows for department where department exists in the department table. So it acts as a cross reference between two tables. Every relationship in the database should be supported by a foreign key. Now, why we should use foreign key? Foreign keys help you to migrate entities using a primary key from the parent table. Foreign key enables you to link two or more tables together. It makes your database data consistent. Now let's see in the database. We are creating one table, employees underscore F key. Table is created. Let's have a look at the user constraints table, whether constraint is created or not. You can see that this R constraint is created. And now let's try to insert department one row inserted. So you can see that this row is inserted because department 1 exists in the department PK table, right? Now there are only two departments in department 1 with depth ID 1 and 2. There is no department with having department ID 3. But now I'm trying to insert value 3 into the employees FK table. It will definitely give me an error that integrity constraint violated. But if you will insert third department in the department PK table, commit it, you can see that now that department 3 is there in department PK table. Now let's try to insert employee 2 with XYZ name with department 3. Now you will be successfully able to insert that row. You can see the data as well. I hope the primary key and foreign key concept is clear. Now I have some questions for you. Can we insert null values into primary key? Can we insert null value into unique key? And can we insert null value into foreign key? So guys, I will advise you to stop here for some time. Just think about it. Just try to do some hands-on and you will get an answer. And give me a reply, give me a comment when you will do this hands-on. So thank you guys. In this video, I have explained you about the primary key and foreign key constraints in detail. If you have any doubt, you can comment me. You can comment me if you want me to create any video on a specific on a particular topic. I will definitely create it. If you have learned something new, please like this video. Happy learning, guys. Thank you.